Hey, how's it going, guys? My name's Jonah. Today we're gonna be taking a look at the full cost breakdown of this car, from maintenance to mods, the total amount that I've spent for the entire time that I've owned this car. Am I worried? Absolutely. And before you find the total cost of this build, leave down what you think I spent on this build so far in the comments below. I'd like to see how close you guys are to guessing the actual amount, because I just know it's a crazy amount. And without further ado, let's get right into it. All right, guys, to start off, I'm gonna go over the cost of the car. I paid $5,900 for it in July of 2019. The only thing that I knew was wrong with the car when I purchased it was the fact that sometimes third gear would grind because of the synchros. Aside from that, everything else is perfect about the car. I never had any issues in the early times of me owning the car, so I got a really good deal, I won't lie, and I didn't have to talk him down. That's how much he listed it for. All right, guys, to keep it simple for you as well, I'm not going to go over every single thing I've done maintenance-wise to the car because that would take forever. So how I'm doing it now is I'm just going to go over by every 1,000 miles. I'll throw out some of the major maintenance things that I've done over the years, just so you know what has costed so much. But to start things off for maintenance, at 93,000 miles, I replaced some fluids, some belts, and then I also replaced a high pressure AC line. That cost me about $400 for 93,000 miles. At 94,000 miles, I spent $600 in maintenance. A few thousand miles later, at 98,000 miles, I spent $200 on a battery and a couple things for my headlight. At 104,000 miles, that's essentially whenever my transmission started shitting the bed. So instead of replacing the synchros and just going through and breaking down that entire transmission, I just went ahead and just bought a brand new one, just so I made sure it was perfect. I also had Dynasty install that, along with a new Z1 clutch and flywheel kit and a transmission fluid, exhaust gaskets, and all that stuff. That cost me about $5,000 at 104,000 miles. Definitely a pricey maintenance day for me. 105K, I did a bunch of fluid changes, of course, oil change, clutch fluid, spark plugs, hoses, and then I also did brake pads and rotors. And that cost me $700 with the rotors and everything from Z1 Motorsports. They're slotted rotors. Those are probably the two biggest maintenance jobs I've ever done on this car. So now that those are out of the way, it's just small things. We have oil changes and alignments and just more oil changes. That cost about another $300 over the course of about 6,000 miles. So recently I replaced my front lower ball joints, and I also bought new hatch struts. So that was about $120. Oil changes again, alignments, and just recently in June, I replaced my oil again, all totaling up to about $100 after all those small things I've done over the past couple thousand miles. Grand total from July of 2019 to now, I've spent $7,470 on maintenance. Again, I've left a couple small things out, but overall, let's just say $7,400. In retrospect, I actually thought I'd spent more on the car in maintenance, so I'd say that's actually a pretty good win for $7,400 over this long of a period, especially with the new transmission installed in there as well. All right, so to recap on the total cost I've spent so far, it's $13,300. But where I've spent the most money on is mods for sure. There's been a couple of versions of my car too, front bumpers to wheels to more wheels and exhausts. Everything has gone through a lot of changes over the years, and I'm going to list all the mods for you guys as well, so you know exactly what each and every single thing cost. All right, so the first mod I did was window tint on the front two windows and the windshield. Cost about $150. I then did BC Racing extreme low coilovers for $1,000 back then in 2019. My headlights are from Depot, and those cost $420 at the time. I know they've gone up way more since then. And version 1 of my car had a KBD front bumper. It's the polyurethane one that a lot of people in the Z community run. That cost $1,000 after paint, just because my painter had a lot of issues painting the actual bumper due to the fact that it's polyurethane. Then I added two kicker speakers for the front passenger and front driver's side. That was $120. And then along with the kicker speakers, I added my Apple CarPlay unit in. That was $300. It's the Alpine ILX W650. At the time, I was running an OEM Nismo shift knob, which cost $100. And then along for my shift boot, I'm running a custom made for me black Alcantara shift boot along with white stitching on the sides, because at the time I had a white theme going with my wheels and the interior, and I just wanted to bring that all together. Mentioning my white wheels, this is my first time I added wheels onto my car, which was in 2021. I went with square G8s. They're pretty cheap wheels, but they look nice and they kind of reminded me of TEs, so it was a win for me. The wheels itself cost around $600, and then the tires were $700. So overall, for that wheel and tire combo, I spent $1,350. Afterwards, I just did some small things like a Z1 rear wiper delete, a roof spoiler that I installed from eBay. Those two in pair were $80, so not bad at all. I also added a Z1 cold air intake, which is $300. Afterwards, I installed Z1 front upper control arms, Z1 rear traction arms, rear camber arms, and rear tow arms. All of that together, I think they had it on a bundle for $900 on their website, so not too bad. I just wanted to get all that done and out of the way. And then along with all of those arms, I went with the Tomei catback, which was $950, and then the Megan Y pipe, which was $220. And along with the arms, the exhaust, I had Dynasty install all of that, and I also had them tune my car with an UpRev tune. The UpRev tune and tune itself cost $800 at the time, since I didn't do any extra maps. After my tune, I just kind of chilled out and I kind of coasted out with the mods that I had currently. And a few thousand miles later, I decided to move my car into the new state that it's in right now. I went ahead and ordered my first set of Volk TE37s. The first set was in diamond black. I'll show some pictures on the screen for you guys. I paid $35.50 for the wheels itself and $600 for the tires.
It's over 9,000!
My Nismo V2 bumper, which is on the car right now, that was $400 from a friend. My side skirts from Shine Auto were $375, and my Drift Dial-X wing was $220. And then my rear bumper, the Shine Auto V3 bumper, was $1,000 after shipping. And then I spent $1,300 to paint the front bumper, rear bumper, side skirts, and spoiler. So I just kind of packaged that together for $1,300. After I got the kit done and everything, I went ahead and installed the Mishimoto weighted shift knob for $40. And then after a couple thousand miles, I just kind of realized I wasn't the biggest fan of black wheels. So what I did was I sold them for about $2,600. I was just really eager to get rid of them. And then I picked myself up in my current wheels, which are the Diamond Silver TE37s, same specs and everything, 18 by 10.5 plus 15. I got a really good deal on this one though. Instead of $3,500, I got them for $3,100 shipped. And then along with the tires on this set, I just used them from the old wheel setup and I just swapped them over, so no cost there. In May of 2023, I installed HR headers and arc pipes, which was $600. I got a really good deal on that from my friend. I installed Z1 urethane motor and trans mounts. The two of those were about $320. I also installed MTech shifter springs for $30, a Z1 plenum spacer for $159, a 75 mil oversized throttle body for $200. All right, and after I did all of those performance mods, I went ahead and went back to Dynasty, got a retune along with a couple extra maps that I wanted to use. That was $300. And then just recently, actually this past week or so, I installed Recaro pole position ABEs, just one for my driver's seat. That seat alone was $1,550 shipped. I paired that along with a PCI seat bracket from Evasive Motorsports. That was $250. And I also just recently purchased some Evo R window switch covers from my friend for $75, the carbon fiber ones, which I'll show on the screen here. And that covers all the mods that I've done to my car over the past 4 years. The price total for it is $21,829. That's a lot of money. Paired with the car cost and the maintenance cost, the grand total of this car with mods, maintenance, and all that is $35,199. Am I ashamed of my purchases and decisions? Absolutely not. My car's really brought me so many opportunities and friends and just overall experiences in my life that I wouldn't have been able to do without it. So I don't regret any of these purchases at all one bit. Maybe the wheels and tires from the first generation of my car, but oh well. Well guys, that's gonna wrap up this video for my cost breakdown of this 350Z here. And if you do like this type of content, be sure to leave a like down below and comment if you wanna see more of this kind of stuff. I do really enjoy making these things, but it does take some time to put everything together. If you'd like to buy any of the mods that I have currently on my Z or I had before on my Z, just leave a comment down below and I'll be sure to get you the link that you need. I appreciate you guys watching till the end if you did, and I will see you guys in the next one. See ya.